We're here post-game inside Hap Park Arena now with Assistant Coach Kyle Bodie. And Kyle, what a game that was. What a home opening weekend. But first off, how does it feel to get that first win out of the way?
Yeah, obviously not quite the start we were looking for to the year there. But quite the bounce back from our group and specifically a big one there for Crewdale. He came in and did the job and showed what he's all about. And two big crowds at home. It's great to see the community out supporting us, and to have two good performances and then get that win here tonight. Yeah, it's good. The boys are feeling good.
Well, first period, let's break this game down. First period again, a great start. Once again, you get that early power play goal. The V's managed to tie it, but it was a very even first period.
Yeah, I thought we did a pretty good job of limiting their grade A's. Even though they outshot us that first period, I think a lot were from the outside, and we were doing a good job in the O zone, getting pucks back, maintaining possession. We had a couple extended shifts down there. Did a good job using our point men, and then obviously to get that goal, we came out of the period tied, and that was a good start.
And you mentioned, forcing shots to the outside. I think, the defense was really solid by everybody in the defensive zone. I don't know the official tally, but you have to say a majority of Penticton shots were from the walls. And like you said, you guys really limited the grade A opportunities all night long.
Yeah, you got to own those areas of the ice, and I thought we did a good job. I thought from Crewdale out, we did a good job of pushing pucks to the outside, Crew was kicking pucks, controlling his rebounds, and our D were flushing pucks away from the net. And then, when the ones that did make it through got there, I thought we were doing a good job for the majority of the time getting that first touch on most rebounds. So it was definitely a much better defensive effort for pretty close to 60, 70, I guess.
Yeah, I guess 70 minutes. We'll get to the OT in a little bit here. But second period, second periods have been, after last night, a little bit of flashback. Again, this team's focusing on playing a full 60 minutes, but you guys stick to your game plan in the second period. Nobody able to get a goal, but again, you have those opportunities, and again, you're all square with Penticton in that second period.
Yeah, and I don't know, I can't remember what the shot total was there. I think we only gave up a handful of shots in that second, but you go into the period or into the locker room after that, and you're feeling good, and the guys you can see the confidence building as the game goes on, and you can see the belief in the system and the belief in each other, and as coaches, when you can see that in your players, it's like, okay, something's starting to click with them, and I think they had the belief all night that they were going to come out with 2 points, and took a little extra time tonight, but that's what they did.
Well, then third period, you're on a power play. Power play, the story of the night. You get 2 power play goals, but there's also some power plays you couldn't convert on 2 for 7. But you give up the lead on a shorthanded goal there, and it just an unfortunate play. Jones unable to handle the puck at the blue line. Swing at the stick right to McPherson, and he goes in on a breakaway and scores. Yeah,
obviously those can be killers, but with that group specifically, it's all returning guys. It's all guys who have experience in this league, older players, and they knew that if we had another opportunity, they were going to have to capitalize. And we made a couple adjustments. They're killed. You can give them credit. They got some good sticks, and they're pretty structured. So we made a couple adjustments, and that was a pretty good seam play by Yui to find, and then it's just a good catch and release by Erzy. So. Power play came through big.
Yeah, and I talked to Brock about no air before the game, but I'm going to ask you about him now. Great start to the season, 4 points this weekend, and game-time goal at the end, and he seems to has really elevated his game this season.
Yeah, and after a year in the league, you're a little bit more confident in yourself. You're a little more comfortable with the style of play in the league, and he's come out and made a conscious effort to really contribute at both ends of the ice, and I think he's doing that. And he's a guy that right now we can rely on. We know when he's going over the boards, we know what we're going to get from him. So, great weekend from him, and pretty deserving to get that goal there.
So you managed to get it into OT. Christian Morrow, a great opportunity early on, but after that, the V's took they won the possession battle in OT. And, going back to last night, 4-on-4 was the issue with the open ice, but you guys seem to fix those issues 3-on-3, and Penticton never had a good look, considering they had the puck for about, at least 5 minutes of possession. How do you like the way your team performed defensively in overtime?
Yeah, 3-on-3 is pretty wide open, as you know, and they got guys that look to make plays and whatnot, but as a group, I thought we did a really good job of protecting the middle of the ice, and it doesn't matter if it's 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. If you protect the middle of the ice and you don't let plays develop in the threatening spots, teams can possess it all they want, but they got to find a way to get to the house. So we had a couple looks. Obviously, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, probably going to need to work on that a bit more, and we'll work on that as the year goes here. But all in all, great job. Crew shut the door when we need it in the OT session there. So yeah.
And then Christian Morrow, the shootout winner. Christian just joined the team before the game in Merritt. Has had that week of practice this weekend, and we saw this weekend, especially tonight, like the skill this guy has and what he's capable of doing. And also want to give a shout out to his line too, if you want to talk about them. His line with Eli Freeman and Brendan Giles had a lot of good scoring opportunities tonight, and I think for this team, that's a good sign to have those 3 first-year guys going with Freeman centering Giles and Morrow.
Yeah, that line was arguably the best line, I think, of the night, both sides. And a lot of credit to them. Like you said, 3 first-year guys and 3 guys out of, prep school, where sometimes it does take a little bit to adjust to the style of play out here. Those guys, not only did they hold their own, a lot of the time they were pushing the pace, and they had a couple good opportunities throughout the game. And, Christian, he's a guy that we've seen get better as the week goes on, and he had a good game last night, and then tonight he followed that up, and like you said, he had almost ended it right away, and then it was just one of those things like, he's had a couple chances, let's see what he can do in the shootout, and he got it. Yeah.
And he talked about Owen Crudale a number of times. How much is this game big for his confidence? Because, probably not the most ideal start in his first 2 games in the BCHL, but like you said, tonight he showed the goalie that he's capable of being.
Yeah, it's huge for him, and he was a pretty big recruit for us. We were pretty happy we were able to get him. We saw what he was capable of. He had a great nationals. We saw in the preseason what he was capable of, and like you said, probably a few goals in those first 2 games that he'd like back, and he would be the first to say that. But he definitely came out tonight and showed what kind of goalie he actually is. That's a very good hockey team over there, and to get your first BCHL win against Penticton, I'm sure that's one he's going to remember for sure.
It's always a very impressive feat. Now, I think we could agree this is the best game the Kings have played all season from start to finish, I would say. Now, where does this team go going forward, going over to the Island next week?
Yeah, as you know, it's a little different once we get into some division play, especially with some Island opponents. But we got to build off these last 2 games. Even last night we blow that lead, but a good chunk of that game we really controlled, and we had a couple mental mistakes that cost us. And then to follow that up with a very good all-around performance from the net out tonight, this is something that as a group you got to build off that, because good teams, when they have a chance to build on momentum, they take advantage of that. So it's going to be a good week of preparation here, and then over the Island we go, and we just got to continue believing and continue buying in and show everyone, this team's for real.
Kings on the road next week in Nanaimo on Friday, then in Cowichan against the Capitals on Saturday. They'll be back home October 13th and 14th against the Clippers on Parents' Weekend here at the Hap. And hopefully the Kings will be on a little win streak when they return home. Kyle, thank you very much for joining me here post-game. I enjoyed the win tonight, and we'll probably talk again in the near future.
For sure, Kessler. Thank you.